So you know how everyone is worried about losing a job to AI. How about I give you a different perspective? How about if the AI actually gives us back our human connection? Okay, that is my new concept I've been thinking about. And let me walk you through. And I think that I'm onto something. Okay, I need your help to actually nail the idea and let me know if I'm correct or not. You know, we've been through this technological changes many, many times before, right? Internet, electricity, cars, all of these things happening, people losing jobs, then the progress happening, and life continues. Eventually get better than people would thought so, right? Even like when Henry Ford started producing cars on the line, eventually he had to hire more people because the demand went up. So people were worried they're going to lose jobs. Maybe they have at the beginning, but once the demand started to go up because people could afford cars, more cars, then he needed more people to actually work with the new tools, the new line which he designed. I think similar thing might be happening with the AI, but that's not my point. Think about this. Like, we've been very unhappy when it comes to work and our lives, like everyday routines for the last few decades, right? Because we kind of lost a purpose. Everybody would wake up and we would go to the job, and the jobs we don't like, the jobs makes no difference to anyone's life. Like, there's no real problem we're solving with our jobs, no real, feeling about actually accomplishing anything, right? It's like the average person's dream would be to end up in some corporate offices, cubicle, answering some phone calls and emails, spreadsheets, and just doing some pointless shit, excuse me, just to send it off somewhere. So somebody signs it off, and then it's just kind of things move on ahead. A corporation makes more money. Maybe one day you're going to get promoted. But it was not it, right? People were just drained. We never felt fulfilled by those jobs. Very few people on the very top did. And we've had a whole couple of generations going through their lives like this over the last few decades. But when you look at the AI, so I looked up quickly a little research before actually recording this video because I wanted to check something. And I was also... one of you guys, a Polish couple, which by the way I'm sending you hellos, you said to me in comments that under my previous video that apparently the companies are actually rehiring those people who previously they were removed because of the AI. We now figure out that AI is not as good, not efficient, it lies and all of it, like what I recorded in the previous video. But when I looked on the internet, when I did my little research, it turns out that the real jobs at risk are the ones which we hate most. Think about this, right? It's the ones, the white collar jobs, the bankers, the investors, traders, the job people locked in the cubicles, in the corporations, mindless customer service, answering hello, taking complaints from people you have nothing to do with. They're angry at you as a customer service, and then you have to apologize in the name of the big corporation which doesn't care about you. So the person on the other end of the phone, right, is like, okay, I get some conclusion, and then they move on, right? It's like, all these things which made us kind of where we are now, they are being automated as we speak by AI. This is the only thing where AI is pretty good at right now in replacing, right? So although it might feel like there'll be lots of jobs lost because of that, but if you think about what kind of jobs, these are the jobs we never wanted in the first place. I would even go further. I think these jobs were the ones making us slaves for a very long time. Think about this. If you know people doing the actual manual labor, I don't know, farmers, builders, scaffolders, like these are the people I rarely see them like very depressed. Like they're just out there doing their work. Whether if you go to the office, and I worked in the office, you probably guys know what I'm talking about. It's all this misery, heavy energy. Everybody's hyper competitive. Everybody's just this rat race, as we call it, right? But now AI is replacing, like, we built our jobs to become a machine, but AI is actually better machine. So if you look at these reports on the internet, what jobs are at most risk, and I said, and then the jobs which are the less risky jobs are the ones which require a real human connection. That require either direct human connection because they're like, I don't know, like healthcare professionals, the builders, people that needs to do manual labor, right? You can't have an AI to do those things. AI is way, way far from it, like miles from it to even being understand it, right? And then you have, in jobs and risk, they say salespeople. But what I think the salespeople is like the ones who are just making dumb, cold calls like 100, 200, 300 a day saying, hi, I'm calling from this company. We hate these. They hate those jobs, most people. I work in companies like that. And then people who answer those phone calls hate those people calling them about these jobs, offers they don't want to sell. And the good salespeople are the ones who sell some useless shit to person who never wanted in the first place, right? And again, it's like fake. It's everybody hates it. We never wanted in the first place. So that kind of sales job will be replaced. But the job when you have a sales process, the real sales, not pushy sales. And I'm an entrepreneur, so I've built businesses by being salesman, and I like sales. I think everybody should do sales because we do that all every day, with everyone around us, with our families and our friends. We just don't call it sales. But that's the real sales. The real sales I've ever done, the best deals I've ever done in my life, were just directly related to the relationship I built with a future customer. And then quite often, many of those became my friends, long-term friends, after the sales, right? So the sales would not be in risk in this case because the person I was dealing with, it was a problem I need to discover what that person had and then offer a solution for which they were so grateful. They would say, hey, I'll pay for it. That means there's a business, there's a sale. This kind of jobs require a high level of understanding of human nature of people and like lots of sympathy, empathy, and they cannot be automated they cannot be swapped and changed by AI. That AI can't even write a post for social media without sounding like AI, right? Sounding like real you. So I think looking at these reports, actually, and I was one of those 6 months ago recorded video when I was saying, oh, the AI is going to take lots of jobs. I actually think I was wrong. Like they will take a lot of jobs, but the jobs we didn't want in the first place anyway. So I think it's actually good news because if this didn't happen through the technology, we would be just stuck forever in this rat race, right? Everybody knows rat race. There's been going movies about this protest, Occupy Wall Street, this and that, bankers, eat the rich. And if you think about this, it's all been all going. Now, there are some risks, right? I mean, if we were smart about this tech and the future we want to build, we would probably use the tech, the way I am saying, like, hey, how about we focus on automating all the jobs we hate and we don't need anyway? Nobody needs to sit countless hours in front of a spreadsheet. Or you've had these architects, 50 years ago, lying on the floor and just drawing beautiful picture of how they're going to design a building. Now you got to just get it done in like minutes or seconds, right? But you can automate those jobs, and that would be great. And then you have the soulless corporations, soulless organizations just being run by machine because they are designed to be a machine anyway. Like we were just cog in the machine and we didn't like it. We are not meant to be cogs. We human beings, we have our needs elsewhere. So if we were smart about this, we would let the tech being built around the actual problems we have rather than just, as this is my fear, for the gain. Okay, so our nature, especially people in power, high up in power, they're greedy, right? They want to drive progress, not for the sake of progress. That's some people, I'm sure, but majority, they want to be part of it because there's lots of money there. And that's what you see with these companies in AI and automation. They're trying to just innovate for the sake of who's there first, who makes most money. But if we were actually smart about this, say, hey guys, these are the jobs we don't have to do. We all hate them. They're only there because we need that machine to be in motion. Then we would actually free ourselves to focus on either building a real connections through other jobs, rediscovering our own connections, building new kind of jobs maybe. And if not, then just the AI itself, the tech should be efficient enough to provide enough resources for all those people who were there stuck before, not to be stuck and still get paid whatever credits to whatever the future payment would look like. But even the money, like if you think about this, the money is the mean of, it's how we transact, right? So you could find the process of how to generate, by why you transact, because you need to have food and bills and stuff like that. But if you have a machine doing it for you, you don't have to spend your time on, doing pointless tasks in order to get some little money so you can transact for something else. Like that money, that value is already being created by the machine. So therefore it can be passed on to whoever needs this means of exchange from you. And this is a bit complex, and when you think about it, it's complex when you think, because it would require a different structure of society and more better understanding from us, each other people, not to be driven by greed, by money itself, by just power, but be more, balanced about where the progress is and what the actual progress is. Because the real progress for me is not automation, everything. It's not like being super efficient. I keep talking about this. Like, I like being imperfect. I like nature being imperfect. I like going out and seeing not straight trees, right? Imagine having everything like they want to have, this, super geeky people behind this high tech. Like, that's not what we want. So if we could actually figure it out, rather than going this utopian, everything has to be automated and make to a perfection way. Like, hey, let's remove all the tasks we really hate and give ourselves more room, more freedom, real freedom in how we actually can move ahead. And then we could really build a whole new society around this with the tech, with the progress, and call it a real progress, right? That would be for me a real progress, not to have people wasting their lives in tasks and jobs they hate, which make no difference whatsoever to anyone apart from making some money somewhere. And that even that money they make is not real, right? It's like, it's so fake, and it's kind of dressed as we have to, that's what we used to call life. I think it would be normal way for us to go this way. Now, I am, like I said, I'm afraid that the leaders, politicians, people in power don't want to look at this, because then they would be less relevant, because we'd have to be more fair. And of course, I don't want to get into too much into, sounding like a socialist, some, agenda or something, because that's where they normally lose everything, the people who are too much into socialism. But if we could use tech to progress in places where we don't want to do things as people, and instead replace our daily task with something which gives us more, not only fulfillment, but happiness in what we're doing, I think then we would call this a real progress. But regardless of where we're going, if you think about the jobs right now, the most jobs being replaced are the ones we don't like anyway. Either people doing those jobs, we don't like people behind it, the people themselves doing those jobs, they don't like it, and there's very little real value being created in those jobs. I mean, they are monetary gains, okay, bigger companies, bigger corporations, but that is a regress for us as a people, right? It's like quality of food, quality of life, everything is getting worse. The bigger the companies, the bigger the corporations, and the more power they have, the worse, the more we feel in our lives. So the AI is kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of doing us a favor right now, right? Because look, we're gonna have to eat food, we're gonna have to see a doctors, dentists, nurses, get the blood drawn, building homes, I don't know, cars, replacing tires, windshields. Like, there's tons of different tasks which are right now no way being able to be replaced by AI. And these jobs will stay. So even if OpenAI becomes the most powerful company around, they will still need those jobs in order for us to kind of, be a society, like function, right? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe what if this is unintentional, right? And then we actually bringing ourselves more to what a human being is, like what living as a human actually meant for us before. Because we I think we forgot since this hyper-capitalistic times over the last 50, and bear in mind, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm not saying that was the best system we could come up with. But maybe now we can actually make it better, add on tech, rather than just going against us, as we try now, a little bit now, which is, I think, foolish. But we could actually use that tech to build our lives in the right direction, better, free ourselves more, and just connect more with who we are, what we want. But I don't know, that's some thoughts I've had. I think I'm more optimistic now about not that many jobs being replaced by AI anytime, like soon. It will happen within, let's say, maybe 20 years. I don't know. Progress is fast, but I think it's not as fast as we imagined at the beginning. And we kind of stalled, I think. There's not that progress we are talking about. It's like we can't get AI to do basic things without going, bananas, hallucinating or lying. So I think we still have time. And as some of you already mentioned to me, right, you're seeing actually employers rehiring people back because they realize what I just said, like the AI is not there yet. So I just wanted to say this quickly today. I think we should be quite optimistic about this. It would be nice if we can be smart about this and just get these people behind all the tech to use it to benefit people, but it's probably going to end up, just as normally, power struggles and financial gains as the main driving force behind it. But keep an eye on this, because I think eventually we're going to have to start focusing on some, I always keep saying, building communities, people like-minded people, having people like you, people liking doing similar things, hobbies, similar books, movies, whatever, around you. And this is irreplaceable for AI, by AI for a long time still, I think. And when it comes to jobs, I think we should be maybe more optimistic. There are some jobs which are going to be replaced. They are being replaced now, but I think it's not going to be as bad as we expected, not in the short term. And it would be okay, I suppose, to think about what you're doing, your current job, and how the potential, how AI, what is the potential for AI to replace it. But unless you're doing something very repetitive, automated tasks, which you most likely hate anyway, then maybe the AI is going to do you a favor. Maybe you're just going to be able to move on with your life and do something else. I hope so. I wish it is. But let me know what you think. Join my community if you're looking for like-minded people to be a bit closer, better connected. If you want to have conversations with me or with other people there, apart from having exchanged a couple of comments on YouTube, for which I am thankful anyway. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribing. Thank you for all of you who's already subscribed, for all your comments, all the likes, for all the support. I really appreciate that. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you think your job can be replaced, because I don't think mine right now. I mean, my job is too creative. I'm just constantly, bringing ideas to reality. But yeah, let me know what you think, and stay positive as always. Cheers.